Okay, Mom.
Yeah,
Welcome, guys.
I know.
Welcome to our ASMR donut
We're
series.
eating donuts. It's okay. It's not amazing. Which one did you have? The Bueno? How was that?
I like it. Can we try the Ferrero?
Yeah.
Because Nutella makes everything better. This one gets better.
I feel like I don't like the inside. Here, let me cut one for you too. I'm just being selfish and cutting myself one.
That's all good.
Okay. Here. Okay.
Okay. Jello, cheers.
Cheers.
This one better be good.
I know. It's all right.
Chica.
Yeah.
I like the Nutella though. Nutella's
So good.
spot.
Nutella always hits a spot.
Okay, relax. Everybody, have some patience. Chill. We're here.
Just had to stop to eat.
You guys, we need that sugar dry coffee rush right before we begin the episode.
Absolutely. Energy has to be 100.
All right. By the way, guys, I might be losing my voice. So if my voice deteriorates as this episode moves
I'm
along,
here to take over.
Hannah's gonna take over. To the left, to the left.
Everything you owned in a box to the left.
Yeah.
I love that song.
I love when you pick it up.
I know.
Pick up my weird.
Kind of came out of nowhere, and then I was like, oh, yes. What was the next lyric?
Welcome back to the episode.
Welcome back.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, guys.
Welcome to the smooth stylings of Uruje and Hina.
Ta-da.
Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Give us those 5 stars. We really appreciate it. And make sure you're following us on socials because that's where we post a lot of our content and a lot of our questions and a lot of our funny shorts that everybody likes to watch. We see you.
We see you.
We see you. Okay, Hina, last episode, was it last or the one before where we did a segment in Urdu?
Yeah.
Listen, did you guys annihilate us?
They probably did.
Did you destroy us?
Guys, we're going to add the captions, okay? Like, we've had someone who'll be like, add captions when you're speaking Urdu. So we're going to try our best. It just doesn't roll off the same way. We've talked about
real.
this. It doesn't roll off the same way.
Did you guys give us some grace though? We'd really appreciate it.
Please, yeah.
I have a returning segment.
I am going to join you on this returning segment, ma'am.
Right. Guys, we're going to do
Red flag.
I was going to say
Lal Jhanda.
Lal Jhanda,
Hara Jhanda.
Hara Jhanda.
Lal Jhanda, Hara Jhanda. Translated to red flag, green flag. Jhandi?
Jhandiya? That's multiple flags. I mean, if somebody has multiple of these, it'll be multiple flags. So, all right. I got one for you.
Okay.
If he has a girl best friend.
Oh, that is. Oh, no, but it depends, right? Like, what? I don't know. It's kind of a red.
It's a
kind
red
of
for me too.
You know what? Because I feel like I think you can have best friends that are like the opposite gender.
Okay.
But it depends on like, what is your relationship like?
Yeah.
Like, is it like, oh, now you got married, but like you need to like hang out with her every Saturday, watch movies together alone? That to me is so weird.
Watch movies together alone?
That is so weird. I would be like, hell no.
I'd be out the window.
Yeah. I would be like driving behind that car, like following.
I'd be like, yo, Hina, come through. Listen to me.
We would both be sitting there with binoculars.
Doorbin ke saath.
Doorbin, legit, I would do that. So I think it's a red flag for me.
I think it's a red flag. I think his best friend shouldn't be a girl.
Yeah.
If you have a friend in a group of friends that is a girl, cool. I can let that.
Yeah, I
but
can
like
see that
your
happening.
best, I don't know. I am still of the traditional opinion that I don't think guys and girls can truly be friends.
I think they can be friends, but I don't think they can be like best. What does that mean, best friends?
Yeah,
What
like-
does that even mean?
I don't know. I think it's a little
odd.
Have you seen the show Platonic?
No.
I think it's on Prime. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it's on Crave or whatever. And it's literally on this like guy and girl who are best friends, and then they had a falling out, and then they reconnect, and you always just feel like there's something.
There's always something there.
You know?
Yes.
And then like her husband is cool with the fact that they're friends or whatever, but yeah, there are moments in the episode where he does get a little like, listen, it's a little bit too much.
See
like
what I'm
your
saying?
friendship with him is a little bit too much. Tone it down, or like if you're in the workplace, like be a little bit more professional, because there's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah.
Imagine you get married to somebody and then like that guy's like, oh yeah, this is my best friend. I'd be like, huh, what?
Yeah.
I'm your best friend. That's my job. It's me. I am the best friend.
Also, guys like it when girls get a bit jealous too. So
Oh, that's because my next one was a guy or a girl that gets jealous, red flag or green flag.
guys, I kind of like it. I think it's a green flag.
Okay, you know what? It's
There's a
yellow.
range. There's a range.
Yeah, there's a range.
There's a range of jealousy.
Yeah.
There's like Kiran Shah Rukh Khan version of jealousy. We ain't about that life.
No.
But there's a little bit here and there, you know, like if you're going out and you know,
There should be a little bit.
for example,
Yeah,
let's say
okay.
you're going out,
Yeah.
okay, and you're wearing an outfit, okay, and it has a little bit of a cap sleeve,
Okay.
not sleeveless, not short sleeve, cap,
Okay.
and then your husband or boyfriend or whatever comes around and like puts a jacket on, and he's like, oh, maybe just like cover it up a little bit because we're going out.
See, like that doesn't that to me would be like, please don't tell me what to wear. I would be like that. I would
I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, because he knows that men are gonna check me
Yeah.
out.
Okay. See, no, I see that.
Yeah.
That okay. So for me, it's like if it's like a cap sleeve, that it's not like that, but it would be more like I get what you're saying. But for me, it's more like a guy noticing that somebody is checking you out.
Yeah.
That to me is more like, okay, like I would want him to be a little bit like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that's my girl.
Yeah, back
You know what I
off.
mean? Back off. Yeah. Even though the other guy might not have said anything to you.
Exactly.
Right? So in that sense, I'm a little bit like, okay. But then if it's like, I'm wearing something nice, which I know is not super revealing.
Yeah.
But it's just something that's like, you know, I don't know, just whatever. Let's say I'm wearing this and then he's just like, I don't really think you should wear that. Or like, you know, even
Yeah.
if I would be a little bit like, am I telling you what to wear?
Oh. Yeah, so our claws are coming out.
What if a girl's checking out your legs in those shorts?
Those calves.
What if a girl's
Those
checking out
kneecaps.
your yeah? What if a girl's checking out your calves and your dhoti that you're wearing? Like, what the heck? Okay.
I think there's a way to say it. If you feel like a
Yeah.
man is like towering over you, telling you what to and not to do
Yeah.
is different versus
You're
like
right.
them being a little like sly about it, being like,
Okay,
listen, all
yeah,
these
yeah,
men are
yeah.
checking you
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah,
you know
feel
what I
that.
mean?
I feel that. But what about a girl? What about a girl getting jealous?
I think there's also a range of that too.
I think there's a range of that too.
But honestly,
the psycho jealous is like, oh god, I can't.
yeah,
I can't.
but also like even if there's jealousy within friendships,
You- oh.
I don't really like it. That's a red
But I
flag.
think that's different. It's like jealousy in relationship, like in friendships, is such a red flag.
Yeah.
But in a relationship, I feel like there should be a little bit of jealousy because you know what it is? It just shows that like, hey, I actually genuinely care about you.
Exactly.
But it's when the jealousy goes like too far that it becomes
The
toxic. I think.
Kiran.
Yeah.
Tú eres mi Kiran. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, peeps. But yes, I like a little bit of jealousy.
I think a little bit
Because
is
I
good.
also feel like you're showing your partner that they have so much value.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
That,
Like,
like-
I care about you.
Exactly.
I'm trying to protect you.
Yeah.
I'm putting my coat on you, okay? Because I'm protecting you.
She's my item.
Yeah.
If he remembers your coffee order.
Oh, green freaking flag.
Me too.
Green. Green flag. Like, you know what? Especially if it's like complicated. Like it's like 3 shots of this and two of this.
Half sweet, oat milk,
like
extra foam.
yeah, cold foam cream, whatever the hell it is. I don't
Yeah.
even drink coffee, but like even if you remember my chai order, like I would sit there and be like, for real, let's get married. Like I would
Right?
say that.
Me
That's
too.
like that to me is like, wow, you know me.
And it's like they know you so well and they know how important that cup is for you that they're gonna go out of their way to make sure it's the one that you want.
100%. 100%. Especially when you're like having a really shitty day.
Yeah.
And they're like, here, I brought you a coffee or a chai. And you're just like, it's all I needed.
It's literally, guys, women are very complicated, but we can also be very simple.
Very simple.
It's these little
exactly.
things.
Exactly.
Little things.
I agree with you. Okay. This next one of mine is going to be a tad bit controversial.
All right, let's see.
Red flag or green flag? He likes pineapple on pizza.
Red.
It's a green flag to me. It's a green flag.
Red.
You know
guys,
what?
we
Ruben,
cannot.
you right now. You are the red flag for me right now, okay? You're pissing me off. First you said no Jenna and Josh, then you're saying no pineapple on pizza. I can't handle
The
you right
sweet
now.
is sweet and the savory is savory. I'm saying it. Also,
No.
like I just want a nice cheesy pizza. Who needs
No.
that tart, sweet, canned pineapple in there? Yuck.
Not even. You know, it adds a little bit of like a little flav in there. You know, you
It's
add a
not even
pineapple.
fresh.
Stop this. What if it is?
It's that Dole can. Red flag.
It's a green. It's a green. Guys, it's a green. Okay, I'm waving my green chandi. Like from the mountaintop, it's a green.
Okay, this green chutney is red.
Okay,
Y'all
can't
tell us.
you.
Y'all tell us in the
you
comments
guys
right
tell
now.
us.
Is this a red?
Does pineapple belong on pizza? Please just say yes. Okay, let's see.
Okay. All right. Fine. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. Okay. If he Googled you before the first date and then mentioned it in that said first date.
Oh, okay, guilty, because I'd probably do that.
Yeah?
I think if I was gonna like
But would
see
you
somebody,
Okay, I understand the Googling and the like
and then he
finding them on
mentions
Instagram,
it,
but
that's
then
a
you
little
mentioned
weird.
on the
That's a
date.
little weird. That's mentioning I would never do.
Like,
I
what
would
if
be
he
like,
said-
I
said,
don't know who you are.
Oh yeah, Hina, I heard that you whatever work for X, Y, and Z, and you're like, I never told you that.
Yeah, like you're searching my LinkedIn profile. Come on now. That's
Okay,
a
out of
little
all
weird.
out of all the social medias you could search on LinkedIn.
Okay, but the thing is, see, like that to me is like it's a little weird.
Right?
For a guy to do it, because I feel like guys, I don't know, for me, maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like guys are that like, why are you being so the justice? You know what I mean? Like that's something that a girl does. Everybody knows girls are FBI agents, D-Lo, right? We are.
We
Like
are.
if my friend came to me and said to me, hey Hina, I'm gonna go out with this guy. I'd be like, name, give me a name. And I would have everything. I'd be like, this is who he is, this is where he lived, this is what he does. I would print it all out and be like, here you go. Now you make the decision accordingly. Okay.
Guys, Hina took a PI course.
I did. I took a private investigation course, so I feel like I'm a little bit of a sleuthy sleuth. Okay, I would want to know.
I would want to know
if I
too.
was really interested. If I wasn't interested, first of all, then I would not care. But I would want to know. Would you want to know?
I want to know, but I feel like, listen, guys, the element of mystery is really attractive to a girl. So Google her all you want. Check
don't
out her
tell her.
socials, but don't tell her.
Don't tell us.
All right, and then slyly be like, oh, so
What do you do?
what do you do? Or like,
Yeah.
you know.
But what if you're having a conversation and then accidentally he spills something that you never even told?
That's a rookie move. That's a rookie move. Step up.
What if he's nervous and he's just like, oh yeah,
I have your sisters do it. I saw that your sister's getting married.
Oh, so you wore a green outfit on your sister's Monday. I really liked it.
No.
That's a good idea.
Okay, guys, I'd be scared. That's a
would be
you
shocked.
situation. You know the TV
That's a
show
you
You?
situation.
The
Oh.
incognito. I'd be like, oh my god, what else? Is
Okay, but like if it was me, I would be so like I would never let him see it like that. Never let him find out that I know anything. I know nothing about you.
Yeah.
I didn't even look up your name, but now everybody knows shit.
I know, but yo, honestly, guys, like if somebody said that to me, I'd actually be scared.
I think that would freak me out. It would freak me out.
If a guy's like, oh, I saw that your sister's getting married and you wore green, and
No,
like,
no, that's red. That's red. I just want. You're so right about the mystery part.
and then it's
Be
even scarier if it's like your Instagram profile's private.
Oh.
It's like, how did he know?
Okay, that is very scary.
Scary. That is scary. I don't
He's
talk
sitting
about
outside your house with the dude bean that we used on him. He took our dude bean and then started using it on us. What's going on here?
this. Did he go to the darzi and find out your measurement?
Good Lord. Okay. Red flag or green flag? You've been seeing this person for a while, but he doesn't want to introduce you to his family.
Red flag.
Red flag.
That
Okay, but then I also think, what if he doesn't want to introduce you because he just doesn't, you know how some men have like commitment issues where they're scared. They get scared.
But then I wouldn't want to be in that relationship.
Facts. That's true.
If I know somebody has relationship commitment issues, sorry, I don't think I would want to be in that relationship because it's like you're never going to commit.
But then do you think that, let's say you start dating somebody and then he's like, oh, I want to introduce you to my family after like the third date. Wouldn't you be a little bit like, well, that's quick?
That's a little early too. I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be pehli date pe pure khandan aa raha hai. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be that quick, but it also doesn't need to linger on for like so long.
I agree with you.
Right?
100%.
Especially if, let's say, you do have good communication with this person and you know that we are together for the purpose of marriage or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just think, I don't know, show me off.
Show me off. I agree with you.
Right?
I feel like if a guy takes that next step and he's like, oh, I want to introduce you to my family, that to me means like you are a committed human.
Right?
You really like me and you want to, make things official.
Exactly.
That is like, it's actually nice.
It is nice.
It is a green flag in that sense. But if you don't, you're a red flag.
All right, my last one. If he tells his sister everything.
Red flag. Oh, I don't even want to go there. I just feel like, what's the need? Like I think it's okay to ask for advice.
Yeah.
For like certain things, because as guys, they probably don't fully understand maybe a woman's thought process. So I get it for that. But then like divulging everything, you have serious like
Mommy issues.
Mommy issues, just issues in general.
Yeah. I think there needs to be some level of like, I understand if your sister is curious and you want to be like, hey, it's going well, or like, oh, what should I do? If you have one or two things, it's fine. I don't think you should be going and spilling every little thing.
Okay, but then let me ask you. We have sisters. We tell our sister stuff. What about a girl telling her sister? What about that?
Ooh.
See, because I feel like I'm the type that I wouldn't tell my sisters everything, but I would talk to them.
Yeah.
I think it goes the same both ways.
Yeah.
Where if you're saying everything, that's kind of like, when people get married and they tell everything to their family, which I think is like, you should never do that.
Yeah.
That to me is still like, I would say it's red both ways.
Yeah, I think it can go red both ways.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think if a sister goes and tells her brother everything about a relationship, that's also a little weird. There are boundaries, like stick to them.
Yeah.
But I don't think every little itchy bitchy detail needs to be told.
Itchy bitchy. You heard it here first, guys. We're going to coin that phrase. Nobody steal that phrase from us.
That's my favorite phrase.
Bitchy.
Itchy bitchy.
Okay. So you guys, we asked the masses a question. The question that we asked was, do men know how to tend to women's emotional needs? And let me tell you guys something. Majority, like 99% of the answers were hell no. Hell no. And then it was like this like paragraph of why they don't, what they do wrong, what they have done wrong, how many times women have gone up to them and said, these are what I need from you. This is what I need from you. And the man is just like, okay, and proceeds doing exactly what he did before and does not listen. So today we're going to talk about that. Okay. Let's get into it.
All right. What do you think?
I think personally that men and women are just very different. I don't think that men don't understand, but I just think they're just a very different breed. Okay. Yeah. Like women, I feel in my mind are a lot more emotional. We just like I think a love language for us is like someone listening to like our emotional needs, right? Like in the sense of, I need you to just listen to me. I have a lot of emotions. I want to sit and talk to you and I want to tell you about my day. And that makes me feel loved when you're there with me. You're listening to me. You're supporting everything. You're hating the people I'm hating, all that stuff. Okay. But I think men are the type of people that are just like, they're fixers. Like you go to them with a problem and they're not going to sit there and stew and be like, hi, kyun hai mere saath? Like, kyun usne mere saath ye kiya? It's not like that for them. It's more like, okay, this is your problem. How do we fix the problem? I think they're more like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it comes from a place of they're intentionally trying to be that way. I just think that that's just how they are. But I think that they can learn. Because with any relationship, you have to kind of figure each other out and then you kind of learn what the other person needs and work that way. Yeah. What do you think?
I agree. I also think there's a huge piece of this conversation that's missing, and that's how much people change over time.
100%.
So if my needs were something when I was 21, they're not the same as when I'm 23. They're not the same as when I'm 25. Everything is going to change. Life happens. Kids happen. You move, you don't move. All of your life is it's not stagnant. So I feel like if your partner or your like male partner, your husband, for example, is not able to pick up on the fact that you don't need this anymore, but you need this now.
Yeah.
That's where the communication piece really needs to come in.
Yeah, I agree.
The problem is that you can get, how they say when you are a certain age, you tend to go into this like comfortability.
Yeah.
Where you are like, okay, I'm just this is how we are now. Yeah. This is how we function and we're all happy. And it's like, you might want to check in and make sure if she's actually happy. You know what I mean? Because her needs are different now.
Yeah.
If she's a mom, her needs are way different, right?
100%.
A midlife crisis for women is really real, as it is for men, right? So if you're going through something or you've passed it and now you feel like, oh, my wife is being a little different or something's going on, like really tap into it, right? And maybe it's not that you need to make her a coffee in the morning. Maybe it's something more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like really having an open conversation. My biggest issue is when women feel like you have these conversations. You've told him what's up and still there's no change. That's when I feel like women just get frustrated.
And fed up.
And
I think this happens a lot. Like, initially, okay, if you've dated, right? There's this period of time where everything is like beautiful, lovey-dovey, blah, blah, blah. Or if you have an arranged marriage, those initial years are sometimes like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, honeymoon phase, right? And then that comfortable phase enters.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh yeah, at the end of the night, him and I just sit on the couch and like he's on his phone, I'm on my phone kind of thing. And you get so comfortable and you forget that like, maybe I do need that spark. So I think a woman will recognize that, especially I think when you have kids. Because like, men, please hear me out. Hear me out, please. I'm trying to help you out here. Okay.
Tattoo these words on your shoulder.
Yeah. Tattoo these words. Okay. So when a woman has children, right? Like, let's say you have one child, that woman's entire life becomes that child. That's just the way it is, because she feels like she's solely responsible for the child, even though, of course, as a man, as a father, you are there as well. But she's so like physically linked to this child that she does not know how to break away from it. But she also needs you to be there for her, because she in that moment probably feels hideous because she had this baby. She's covered in like throw up and puke all day, changing diapers, not getting enough sleep. No one is taking care of her because her sole responsibility is to take care of the child. As a man, please, guys, take her out on a date. Get a babysitter, take her on a date, get her a nice dress, tell her she's beautiful. Like, these things make the biggest difference. And honestly, how hard is it to do that?
Right.
These are the things that are like so basic, and I feel like genuinely they would strengthen your relationship. Like be romantic.
Yeah.
Be romantic.
Woo her.
Woo her. Woo her. And I feel like when a woman is fulfilled emotionally, then she will be able to fulfill in so many other aspects, right? Like, I don't think a man's love language is not necessarily the emotional fulfillment. It might be other things that they need, right? Like, you know how people say like the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? I just feel like she like, as a woman, like, you want to do those things for like the person that you're with, but sometimes when your cup is empty, you just feel miserable. You're angry, you're stressed out, the baby's crying, like there's so much on your plate. So I feel like sometimes you just have to be there to like tell her to take a break, take over, take care of the kids, give her a rest, like just take her out, be romantic, and try to fill her cup back up so that she can also be there for you as well.
And also, a side note, the way to Uruje and Hina's heart is also our stomachs, just FYI. But also, sometimes I feel like, and I'm going to speak from personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it, girl.
Sometimes I feel like when I was in that newborn phase, even if someone tried to like help me, I was like, get away from me.
I know.
Because I'm just so frustrated. And I'm like, all of your advice and everything that you're saying to me right now is not what I need.
It's not helping me.
And at the same time, girl, I didn't know what I needed either.
That's so true.
Okay, it was literally the reality of my, and I couldn't control it. But if somebody was like, hey, just let me know what you need, I'd be like, okay.
And it's like,
that's it.
I know.
That's it. Well, then I gaya. Nobody ever asked, and I never said anything, you know? And that's probably something I needed to work on, but I was so in the deep end of motherhood that I just couldn't even see. You know what I mean?
So true.
So I feel like if you have if your spouse is going through this right now, okay, sometimes you need to physically take the baby away and maybe give her space. Or you need to physically gift her something, or you need, like, rather than just being like, oh, you seem like you might need to go out with your friends, because that might irritate her. Sometimes saying things like that bothers me too, right? Rather than that, message her friend and be like, yo, why don't you come and surprise her? Take her out for a second. I really think she needs a night out. I will handle the baby. Right? You gotta be a little creative. You gotta think outside the box, because sometimes, yes, I can admit that sometimes when I was in those moments, talking to me was like talking to a wall. Because I didn't even know what I wanted, and I was really like exhausted, and I didn't know what I wanted, right? So in those moments, you gotta get creative.
But it's also like in those moments, do you know the hormone changes that a woman goes through, right? There are times when I remember I would be sitting there like, I would be like a zombie, and I would just be crying for no reason. I don't even know why I was crying.
Same.
Like, I was just crying because I was upset. There's so much going on, babies. I don't know, there's a million things. And then like someone coming up to me and be like, why do you always think so negative? Then I'm like, it's going down. It's going, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, excuse me? You know what I mean? Because you're just like, I can't deal with this right now.
But also in that moment, what if somebody came up to you and asked, what's wrong?
That triggered me too. I don't know what's wrong. I just want to cry. Like, I feel like the best thing to do in that moment is just be like, you know, like, give me a damn hug. Say it's okay. Okay, like, I got you. Like, I want you, you know, I have the baby. Exactly what you said. Like, I'll take care of the baby. You go do something.
Or and like, sometimes it's like, don't even use the words. Literally pick up that damn bassinet and get it away from her face. Okay? And just give her the room to herself. right? And just be like, just take a minute and like whatever. And then like make a coffee or chai and leave it outside the door.
Yeah.
Guys, just try these things. Like
Yo, it's the smallest.
it is.
things,
It's
man.
really just those little things. And like you would be surprised at how much she will appreciate that, because she'll be like, oh, I didn't even need to say it, but he just did something that I needed in that moment.
It's kind of like, I know it's like tricky because we're also trying to figure ourselves out because it's such a huge change for us.
Yeah.
But I think as a man, like you kind of have to like figure it out with us, you know? And I think in those moments, especially when you have kids, you have so many needs as a woman, but like you're not meeting any of your own needs because you're too busy fulfilling the needs of this child.
Yeah.
Right. And then you also have this like immense pressure that you can't complain about taking care of this child.
Yeah.
You have to do it with a smile on your face. And so, and the crazy thing is like, you know, when we do talk about this stuff, it's something that like, we never saw our parents stressed out when we were young. It was always just like, they had everything on lock, even though they might've been. So for us, it's like, we have to uphold the same thing or we're like weaker moms.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think as a guy, just like, it really is the small, tiny things that kind of build to the bigger things. And so I feel like you have to just make these small little efforts, like buy your girl some flowers here and there. And y'all don't get the grocery store flowers, get them already in a vase so we don't have to arrange and put them in a vase. Like that stuff bothers
like
me.
that.
Because it's like, I know you made the effort. You went to the grocery store and grabbed a bouquet of flowers that was pre-made. But like, could you not have just gotten one with a vase so I don't have to come home, trim stems and put it in pani? Like, come on, man.
Gamla nahi boss.
Yes. I don't want to do that. Just get me one that's already done.
But also, like, girls notice those little things.
Yeah.
That's what I think. This is what men need to know is like, girls will notice that you went and got flowers that already came in a vase. That means this was pre-planned.
Exactly.
That means you weren't just in line at No Frills being like, oh, all right. Maybe
yeah,
I'll
I'm
pick
doing
up
groceries. So like, I'll just grab
दूध
some.
ले लेता हूँ और साथ
And then it's like, oh, I fulfilled my quota for the month. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do anything nice anymore. So like, I'm done for the month. No, it's not like that. I just think if you do things and you're like consistent, especially when you know that she's going through a hard time, it's a big transition. If you're consistent with those things, I honest to God think that your relationship will get stronger, because even though she's going through a rough patch, she will always remember that like, hey, he came through for me in this way.
Guys, also do other things. Like I'm going to specifically speak to the newborn phase, but like there are so many people in our community that are like selling panjiri, like selling bone broth, things like that. Like buy that for her, buy it for her and just put it on the table and be like, I thought maybe you could use this. Right?
I know.
Like it's those little acts too that make you realize that they shows
care.
that they care, and it shows that look, you want your wife to feel better too. She went through this whole thing. Her body is in shambles.
Yeah.
You want her to get her strength back, right?
Yeah.
So do things like that, or like, you know what is such a small thing that I feel like nobody says? When it's time for dinner. Okay? Girls, women, wives, moms, all we do, जो हमारी सर खपाई है ना, day in and day out, is what are we eating for dinner?
Ain't that the truth?
The biggest sar kapai of my life.
Lunch
what am I
and
feeding
dinner.
the kids?
Yeah.
What am I doing for dinner? Okay? And 80% of the time, you don't even care about yourself. You're like, as long as the kids are fed, yada, I will eat a banana. Doesn't matter, okay?
Yeah.
Just literally go and don't even tell her. This is the little trick, okay? Don't tell her. You know her order.
Yeah.
Don't tell her. Go get some Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Go to Five Guys.
Yes.
Go pick up like her favorite thing of like pizza and garlic knots or whatever she likes.
Yeah.
And just put it on the table.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, oh my God, like I didn't even have to ask today. I didn't have to ask.
Yeah.
Kya khana hai aaj?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling.
It is a beautiful feeling. And I think it also just comes back to the whole thing of like, that doesn't mean you do it once and you're done. You know what I mean? Like it's a consistent thing.
Done, okay?
It's not a one and done. Okay. And a lot of men think this. I remember actually, it's so funny. I went out once. Okay. I was sitting in my car, the windows are rolled down.
Yeah.
And then I see this like husband and wife walking. And then the husband looks back and he's like, "Tum to hamesha hi negative sochti ho." I was dying because I was like, yo, this is like every guy.
every relationship.
Every guy's sentiment is like, you're never happy. You like, there's always something more that you want.
Yeah.
But you know what I think it is? It's just the fact that like, maybe we're venting because we just feel like, and I'm not saying that like we need to seek happiness from things or from you specifically. We have to find our own happiness. But I think sometimes we just need to be heard, right? And on the moments that we can't express it, then yeah, you have to go out of your way and do small things like that. But then in the moments when we are expressing it, y'all open your gone. Like, listen, please, for the love of God.
खोल के सुन ले, okay?
Yeah. Like, please listen. Like, just hear us out. And you don't even have to be like, let me fix this for you. You just have to be like, okay, you know what? That sounds really hard. Like,
Yeah.
honest to God, that's a really shitty feeling. I'm sorry that your sister stole your outfit and did not bring it back.
How dare she?
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
Let me get it dry cleaned for you.
Yeah. I'm sorry that my mom said this isn't this thing. She shouldn't have said that. Not, my mom said that. Let me go and talk to her and fix it for you, because maybe she doesn't want it to be fixed. Because then maybe it's like, oh, if you tell your mom, then she's gonna think that I spoke to you, and then it's gonna be a bigger thing. You know what I mean? There's so many like.
And then your mother-in-law is gonna come to you being like, "बेटा कोई बात हो तो मुझे directly कह दिया करो."
Like, मैंने सुना था कि तुम्हें ये बात अच्छी नहीं लगी, and then you're sitting there like, oh God.
And you're like, next time, बेटा मेरे पास आके खुद ही कह दिया करो. And you're like, yeah, right. I would never.
And then you go home and you're like, did you tell your mom?
See what you did?
I tell you not to say it.
You see what you did?
So I have a question for you.
What's
Okay. Do you feel like men that don't have sisters are less emotionally in tune to a woman's needs versus men that have sisters?
I will say yes.
Yeah.
But I will say that Farhan doesn't have sisters, so he's kind of the, but I feel like he might be a unicorn. Like, maybe it's also because he's the youngest and he spent so much time with his parents.
Yeah.
And because his brothers got married when he was fairly young.
Yeah.
And they have a big age gap. So he was with his parents the longest. And I definitely feel like they relied on him for emotional support. So he was really good at like picking up the emotions and understanding like where certain like feelings are coming from and what to do with it. But I think it's always different with parents versus a spouse.
I think so too.
Right? And so like there were certain things like I had to teach him too. Like, this is kind of, you know, what it is, and this is how I need to. And then he would do the same. But generally speaking, I feel like if there aren't sisters, it's hard for men to understand that much emotion that women care. We care so much emotion. It's unreal. Okay?
Yeah, we really do.
And we could flip it on and off in a second.
Yeah.
Okay? And if it's that time of month, it's even worse.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, okay? We are like psychotic Godzillas. It's nuts. You know, I'm telling you, you know the raptors in Jurassic Park?
That's so
That
like
is-
it can get to that point. Okay, it's not like something that's foreign. It's
And if you
very
haven't
normal.
experienced it, because I know that the generation before us, those women kept themselves composed.
Yeah,
They didn't ever let anybody feel like they were too emotional.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like upset. Like they didn't want other people to see their emotion.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of women from our parents' generation just held it down.
Yeah.
And so if you've had your mom like that, then you're not gonna know the volcano that might erupt in your spouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you haven't been introduced to it.
That's such a great point, because I do agree with you. I don't think that our parents' generation was like, at least the women, they expressed themselves the way that we express ourselves. And that's why I think there's like that whole generation gap where it comes to not emotional, and like, I guess it would be like that. We are more emotionally in tune versus the generation before us, where if we're upset or if we're angry about something, we actually let it out.
Exactly.
Not that they never did, but not to the, I don't think it's to the extent that we will just say, no, like, I don't like this. This is upsetting me. I need this to be changed. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, if I look at my mom, I don't think she would vent to my brothers the way she vents to my sister.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? Because there is some level of
Understanding.
And like privacy. Like she feels like she can't be so candid with them. She can't really tell them every little itchy bitchy detail that she can tell to us, because we will just kind of get it. We'll just understand her emotions, right? Sometimes when she does get upset, sometimes my brothers will be like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, relax. And then she feels like I can't approach them again.
And that's the thing, right? Because I think as women, we are so much more compassionate in that point, because we're like, okay, I can put myself in that situation and say, wow, if I was in her shoes, I would get it.
Yeah.
Whereas a man, even if it's like a younger guy, like they're just kind of like, how do we fix it for you? Like you're going on and on and on, but like, we just want to fix the problem for you.
Or there's like an Hina day. Like, why are you such a big deal?
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
Yeah. And I also think it's like, you know, when we have like a group of friends, right? There's like so much stuff that happens within that friends group. So if you ever tell like a guy that, they're just like, are you serious? Because their friends group are so simplified. Like, it's just like, if I got a problem with you, I'll solve the problem with you. Like, it's never like the way it is with women where it's like, and then she said this to me. Like, can you believe she said that? No, but like, really? Like, what the hell? Why would she say that?
And I'm like, it's in the tone.
It's in the tone.
The way she said it.
It's the ledger.
It's the ledger.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I think personally that there is a difference.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really, I don't think that they're incapable of understanding emotions. I think that everyone is capable of understanding, but I think they understand emotions more from the point of, and by they, I mean men that don't have any girl, like sisters, right? They understand more from the perspective of their moms. And because there's a generation gap, maybe there is a little bit of a lack, or like there's a little bit slower in understanding it from the perspective of like someone in our generation or younger, that, okay, she has way more emotional needs.
Yeah.
And maybe my mom didn't share those emotional needs with me for a reason, right? So I think that there is a difference. Like with my brother, I can honestly say we're 3 sisters and my brother. I feel like I can have conversations with him about like very like, you know, like things that I would talk to my sisters about. There are things that I can have conversations with him, but I feel like his perspective is it's very like, it's not so emotionally involved as it is just like looking at the problem and kind of trying to fix it, like I said. But I do think he does understand things. Like sometimes he'll even be like, okay, well, if I said such and such thing, then I don't want you to take it this way. And I feel like a normal, like a guy that is, they're just kind of like, I said what I said. I said what I said and you deal with it, you know? So I think there is a difference, but I think everyone can be taught those things. And I also think that's where the communication thing comes into play, where like you have to tell people. But there's so many people that messaged us that were like, we have said A, B, and C, please, this is what we need. And he changes for like one day and then he's right back to who he is. But I also think it's hard to change habits.
It is. I also think like men need to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are a lot of women out there that are just feeling like no matter what I say, he falls back into those habits, even though he knows that those are the things that I don't like. And I think it's an issue. Right? And to your point about the brothers or the man who has sisters, it's also little things like, if you have a sister and it's her time of month, you can understand how extreme it can get, how painful it can be, how low energy they are, how much like, you know, and like life doesn't stop. And they keep doing all of that, right? But if you don't have any sisters, your mom is not going to share stuff like that with you. Yeah. Your mom's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm cramping so bad. You know what I mean?
Your mom's gonna be like, don't say nothing. No one needs to know.
Your mom's not gonna be like, oh, yo, run to Shoppers and get me a pack of always. Like that's not what's gonna happen, right? There's gonna be so much like
secrecy and like just don't share it.
Shut up behind it. You know, like
which I get that as well.
Same.
But I also think that like sometimes they do need to know, because it's something that they're going to come across as they get older, right? And it also goes into the point of like, how do you treat a woman when she is like going through something like that?
Exactly.
Right? Because y'all, it is painful, okay? And you're still making your breakfast, lunches, and dinners.
Okay, guys, I was literally remembering like the first time it happened, okay? And I was like in it was the summer of grade 5.
Yeah.
And I was going into grade 6. So I got it a bit early, right? And I just remember being like, why am I in so much pain? I would be curled up on my bed.
Yeah.
And at that age, like grade 5, I'm like taking Tylenol pills because I just couldn't handle the pain.
Yeah. It gets so bad, man.
And it's like, if you don't see a sibling go through that, you will never know how hard it can be for a girl.
Exactly. And I also think like we are just, you know, it's not like we get days off from work.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like I would work and I would call in and I would be like, hey, like I'm really not feeling well because like I have the worst cramps ever. And I remember one of my bosses being like, okay, well, you're going to come in tomorrow, right? And I was just like, are you serious?
Wow.
And of course it was a man, but then sometimes it's women saying that. And you're just like, are you kidding me? Right. And so I feel like because we just kind of get up and we still do things, men also assume that like she still is going to do everything anyway. So she doesn't maybe need that time off.
Guys, this assumption is incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay. Please remove this assumption from your head.
100%.
Your girl is going to get up and do anything regardless. It's the way we're built.
Yeah.
Okay. But don't think that just because she's okay and able to do everything that she doesn't need the time to rest and recover. That's a big thing.
You know what I really loved? I remember like at my mom's house, anytime that would happen, like anytime it was like that time of the month, my mom would always make me like a cup of chai and like a boiled egg.
I love that.
She was like, you know, you just need like takat and to keep yourself warm.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm sitting at home. Like, it's just like, you know, like sometimes you're just like, can somebody do it for me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'll do it. But then it's also like, you know, like I am really in pain. Like I am dying in pain. And we just cannot, like the other person hasn't experienced it. So you're kind of just like, how do I explain it? all I can say is this is really painful.
Yeah.
Give me a Tylenol.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, they don't know. But I feel like when someone tells you that it's really painful, please try and understand.
My mom would always, because we didn't have a heating pad back then, so I had that red
water bottle.
Yeah, the water bottle. So my mom would always boil Bonnie in it and give it to me, and then she'd give me Tylenol, and I'd nap it off. And then after that, I'd feel like I can. The pain never really went away, but I could like manage it. But I remember my mom's other thing was she would always let us take days off school.
Yeah.
It was never, if I was like, Mom, I'm in too much pain, I can't go to school. She was like,
yeah.
Like, she never questioned it. And because she knew.
I love that.
Right. And then she would always give us like heartier foods because she was like, you need to you know?
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here because the men watching this are like,
we don't want to know.
You know? Like, skip this. We're not gonna watch this episode. A lot of men say that their issue is that women don't communicate well enough for them to understand their women's emotional needs. So I wanted to ask you, do you think that's true? A. B, how do you think we can work on that to be better at it?
Yeah.
And C, what if we do communicate and there's still no change from the men?
It is true because I think sometimes we don't even know what we need.
Yeah.
Right. So like, for example, it could be that we say something like, you know, I just wish you'd spend more time with me. I'm feeling lonely. Right. So you say that. It's a very open-ended statement, like spend more time with me. But then he might be like, well, I'm sitting right next to you, so I am spending time with you. But then maybe what you actually needed was for him to be like, hey, what I mean is you and me alone going on a date, you're actually present in the conversation, you know, you're like, you know, like you're just being romantic and like that's what I need to feel loved by you. So maybe it's more like get into the nitty gritty. Because I think we might say just blanket statements like, I'm just feeling so alone today, or like, I really need you to like hang out with me more. We'll say things like that. But I think you have to like really get into the detail of like, what exactly do you need? And sometimes you have to self-reflect and be like, what do I need? What exactly do I need? And it's confusing.
You know that picture of that iceberg?
Yeah.
We'll say the blanket statement on top, but guys, there's a massive iceberg.
Underneath, it's like this whole diagram of like 50,000 things we need. We need the Chanel bag, okay? We need the damn nice. We need the designer outfits, okay? We need the food. We need the romantic date. But guess what? We need you to plan the date. And guess what? You're going to have to open the door too. You're going to have to open the door. You're going to have to buy us a new outfit. There's like a bazillion things that we need your mom to step out of our lives for a little bit. You know, like it's like 50 million things.
Let's get a new car. You take care of the kids. I can hang out with my friends.
Things. It's actually so many things. And I think, you know, a lot of those things, they stem from, I think sometimes like the material things, they stem from like outward pressure.
Right.
Friends, family, this, that. But like internally in a relationship, I think it's just about really figuring out what you need.
Because there are so many times where women will just message you being like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And it's a blanket statement.
It's such a blanket statement.
What does that mean? And I get men are so like, you guys are hardwired different. You guys want to know, what does that mean? What are you exhausted from? Because your day looks the same.
Yeah.
For example, let's just say like, yeah, you have a 9 to 5. Okay. No kids. You just have a 9 to 5 and your day looks the same. You go to work, you come home, you go to work. And so does your husband. But you message him one day and you're like, I'm exhausted. Your husband's going to be like,
Sojo.
What the, huh?
We're like, Sojo, take a nap.
But he's also going to be like, from what? Because your day is the same.
Yeah.
And then, but can I be honest? Sometimes it is so hard for women to communicate all the nitty gritty, you know, the bottom of the iceberg. Yeah. Sometimes it's so hard because we're just like, figure it out.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, what do I have to tell you everything?
How much am I going to put this on your silver spoon and feed it to you? Can't you just know? Can't you just know how tired I am?
Yeah. I also think it's because like we're out here like, how we're Googling like, how do I bring romance back into my relationship? And then meanwhile the guy is just sitting there like eating his kana, watching his TV. And you're just like, I'm trying to save up. What the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to patch this Titanic. You're letting the water come in.
And you don't even care. I've told you so many times what's wrong with you. And I also think from their perspective, they're just like, bro, man, I just came home from like a 9-hour shift and here I am dealing with your bullshit. Like, You come home, you feed him, then you're sitting there on the sofa and like, can you imagine? Like, I bet this happens in so many households, okay? The guy comes home, he's exhausted from work, right? The girl's been at home, she's freaking fried, okay? He sits down on the sofa and he's like, finally, I get to relax. And then she comes and sits next to him and she's like, I had a really hard day. Like, no,
He's like, shoot him. Okay.
That's exactly. He's like, shut up. I don't want to deal with you. Like, I had to hear my boss yell at me for the last 8 hours. Now I have to go and listen to your face. I just think it's like, it's hard for.
Yo, men are gonna love this part of the episode.
I feel like they are probably like, oh my God, like the sad kabai, like I have to deal with you and like you're just going off. So I think maybe if you're able to like verbalize exactly what your needs are, I think it would work.
Or like men just be like, hey, listen, give me half an hour.
Yeah.
Before you implode.
Yeah.
Just give me a half hour to like wind down.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the issue with that too. Like, this is me just, okay? My mind is going a mile a minute. Sometimes if you're home alone with the kids all day.
Man.
And then your husband comes home and he's like, yo, I need like 40 minutes to wind down. You're pissed.
Oh, you're so
like,
mad.
Oh, you're like, are you kidding
40
me?
damn
You're like,
minutes?
you walk through the door, you take the kids. I need the 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I understand it. Man, it just causes so much.
And then your anger also
friction.
builds up too, right?
You know, 100% it builds up, you know?
It does.
It's like how, and yeah, like honestly, women and men, both our plates are so full at all the time.
They
right?
are.
But I just feel like with women, we take on a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you feel like your partner is not really like reciprocating that love or energy back in the relationship, then yeah, you will get frustrated. And then it's gonna come out.
Yeah. And I also think that, you know, if you're at home with the kids, right? Just like what you said, how your day literally rolls into the next day, because one of the biggest things as moms is that you have to set a routine for your children, right? There's a nap time, there's like a food time, there's okay, it's time to go to bed time, right? There's like a set schedule. And you're literally living the same damn day every day.
Every single minute.
Every day, it's the same damn day. Okay. And I'm sure that as like a partner, as a spouse, he's probably living the same damn day too, because he's going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. But I think if you guys can figure out a way to mix it up, shake things up a bit, like even pre-plan. Like I was watching a bunch of videos where they were saying, hey, you know what we do? We actually once a week we'll go out, or like twice a month is like date night, and that's like our time. Like that's time for us. The kids come after. And I was like, that's such a cool idea that people have like planned it out. So it's like, I don't care. There's no excuse unless you're like really sick and dying. But other than that, it's planned out. We're going out. But I also think if even if it's planned out, like men, choose the restaurant. Okay. Don't be like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Like you can be like, what do you feel like eating? That's fine. But then you choose a restaurant, you make the reservation, get her some damn flowers, get her a nice dress, take her out, open the damn door for her.
Open the door.
Please. And I feel like if you're consistent and like you're making time for each other, I really do think that good things can come out of it.
You know what the problem is?
What?
Girl, our parents didn't do this. Our parents didn't do this.
But we don't want to be like that.
Guys, we'd watch TV and it'd be like, mom and dad are going on a date night and all the kids are home with the babysitter.
Or like, I love you, sweetie. Have a wonderful day.
That whole concept was so foreign to us in our home.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my God, don't even look if they're holding hands.
Holding hands.
Even if they do this.
Yo, even if they're like sitting at the same table, you're like
sitting beside each other on the sofa a little too close. You're like, walk away, walk away. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. Or you just be like, this is so weird. Why are you guys
so
being
off?
Yeah,
it's
like
so
hella
off.
sus.
But that's true, because we haven't seen it. So it's and I think girls are a lot more like, oh, love, but I think guys are a lot more like a little bit more standoffish.
They are.
You know what I mean? We're like, yo, we're men. Gotta be macho.
Just brush my shoulders off.
You also don't want a guy that's like, oh my God. You also don't want one of those either. You know, you want like a good balance. He still has to have that like masculine quality.
But still show me that you care about me.
Yes.
Show me that you need me in your life.
You're attracted to me still after I gave you these like 4 kids. You know what I mean?
Lord.
Like you're still like, hey, she's hot. She gave me 4 kids, but she's hot.
Yeah,
okay?
for real.
Like you still have to be in on that.
Guys, you know what the solution is going to be to this episode? There is no solution. We apologize.
We're literally like, and do this and do this, but I don't know if it's going to help, but try it.
And women are also the problem, and men are also the problem.
Literally, that's literally what it is. That's
We're all the problem here.
So what would you do in a situation where like you have your husband's friends, okay? And, you know, let's say your husband's friends are the type of people that are just a little bit like too involved, too catty. They just become these people that like, they don't really, they're friends with you, so they'll talk to you.
Okay.
And let's say, you know, that friend of his is a little too open and free, and he's like, oh, well, I don't want you to like, you know, like I don't like this person, so I don't want you to like this person. Like your husband's friend is saying that to you. Okay.
Okay.
And then he won't go through your husband. He'll just come straight to you.
And be
So,
like, I don't want you to talk to someone.
Yeah, like you guys all have a group of friends.
Okay.
Okay. And let's say that
And
you know,
there's men
like,
and women in this
men
group of
and
friends.
women in
Okay,
this group.
okay,
But like let's say this friend is a man.
Okay.
And he has a decent relationship with you because you've all kind of connected through your marriage.
Got it.
Okay. And then this man is the type of person that he just has a lot of beefs with everybody.
Okay.
Beefs. Is that really a thing still? It is for me. Okay.
Beef.
So then he comes up to you and he's like, you know, I'm not really cool with this person, and I don't think you should talk to this person. So now he's not even going through your husband. He's going straight to you. What would you do in that situation?
Honestly, I would talk to my husband.
And what if your husband's like, I don't want to get involved?
That's weird. I'd be like,
Isn't
get
that
involved.
weird?
I'd be like, get involved. I'd be
would
like,
think that
you
too.
don't want to get involved, but I am uncomfortable. Get involved.
Yeah.
I think there are moments where you have to put your foot down. You know how sometimes we were talking about the whole like mother-in-law situation, and you're like, oh, he's gonna go back and like tell his mom, and then you're like, but I didn't want you to tell my mom.
Yeah.
I think there are moments when it comes to like his friends.
Yeah.
There are moments where I really do think if it's a guy,
It's a guy.
that's so weird to me.
That's
He's
so
coming
weird.
to me and being like, yo, I don't want you. I'd be like, first of all, mind your boundaries.
Mind your damn
Like,
boundaries,
don't
girl.
really talk to me.
100%. That to me is so weird because I feel like if it's like a friend that's a girl, that's a different story.
Yeah. And even then I'd be like,
Don't tell me who to be friends with.
yeah, exactly. And also like if we're all a group, like we're
Yeah.
all a group. I'm coming as a third party.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be in here making cliques now.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell me to pick sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like if there's already a set group, you should go in as being neutral,
100%.
right? And meet the friends as is. But this whole like you don't want to be the reason why like maybe a friend group breaks up. That's not even your friend group,
Yeah, exactly.
right? But at the same time, I would just tell my husband like, I don't want you to be neutral. You need to do something about it, or I'm not gonna go out with this group anymore.
Yeah, but it's also like as a husband, that's your wife, right? Or like as a wife, that's your husband. So like it shouldn't be happening either way. Like whoever's friend it is, they need to be stepping in and being like, listen, you don't need to be talking to my wife about this stuff. Like you need to handle this on your own. Don't come to my wife and say this, or vice versa, the other way around.
Yo, what would you do? Total tangent, not even having to do
go.
with emotions.
Oh my God.
What would you do if you're in a situation, same friend group, okay? And like the husbands are always complimenting your food in front of their own wives.
I would say thank
Yo,
you.
red flag, green flag. What is
No,
that?
if your husband, okay, let's say your husband compliments someone else's food.
Yeah. Like, no. Your husband's friends
Okay.
continuously compliment your food and you know that it's like bothering the wives. Like, job dekho uski tareef ho rahi hai?
That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Maybe my food is damn good.
It is like top chef.
I think I would be like, okay, it's a compliment is a compliment, right?
Yeah.
It would be like, you know, when someone comes to your house for like a davat, right? And they compliment your food, whether they like it or not, they're gonna compliment. You know what I mean? They're not gonna say your food sucked.
Yeah.
So I feel like you take the compliment. If someone's getting bothered by it, that's their own self-esteem issues,
I
in my
know.
opinion.
Okay, but as a wife sitting there, like you're all on the table, everybody's eating, and the husbands are like, you should learn how to cook from Hina.
Okay, that is so mean though.
That's right?
That is so. First of all, no husband should ever say that.
Don't
because
ever compare your wives.
Don't ever, y'all about to ruin your marriages. Okay, Sinks. Like it's different if you're like, you know, you're privately sitting with your wife and you're like, hey, you know what? I loved that recipe that she used today. Do you mind like finding out what she did with that?
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
It's so different when you do it that way. But like sitting in like a gathering and then being like, you need to learn how to make this is so uncalled for.
Yeah.
Like, don't be cutting me up like that because I've probably been slaving in the kitchen for you for God knows how long, making you everything you loved. Okay. Trying to like up the ante all the time. And then you're going to throw me under the bus in front of your friends and make me look like a fool.
You make your wife look like a fool, and then you guys may not see this, but you're making the wife that you're complimenting very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's gonna be like, this is awkward. Like, I don't want to be compared to anyone. Like, I invited you into my home for a dawa.
Yeah.
This was not my intention. And other girls might be like, oh, is she doing this on purpose?
Yeah. And it's also
Girl drama
is a big thing.
is
And then I feel like that can cause like, unintentionally, guys, like it's different if you say to the person, hey, Aruj, like I loved the pilau you made. It was so delicious, right? That's different. If you're saying it like, Hina, you need to learn how to cook pilau like Aruj, I would be like, okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah. But guys, the dynamic between Aruj and Hina,
I think if someone constantly says it, then as a girl, you're just like, what's your deal? Like, why are you always complimenting her?
Yeah.
Like if you like her so much, go be with her.
yo, then that jealousy Hina comes out. Okay, that jealousy emotion, the green one, it comes out. But it's the you're gonna be like, Joe, the fuck open.
Because then you feel so like it's sad too. It's a sad feeling.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, hey, like I've tried so hard to like, make all these like nice food meals for you, and like you don't compliment me like that, but you'll go and compliment someone else's wife.
Also, what if you're the problem? What if you just have too much nakhre?
Yeah, watch me sit there and start crying if something like that happens. Like,
No.
okay, I'll learn from her.
No, I'd turn around and be like, you learn.
Yeah. Oh,
तुम्हें बड़े मजे का लगा ना, जाओ सीख के आओ and feed me.
guys, we have all come to the conclusion that Aruj has the wittiest comebacks, and this is why we have her on this podcast. Learn from her, women.
Yeah, I think with the friends thing, I think it's just important to like tell your husband straight up, like you need to do boundaries and you need to do something about it. And if you need to, just be like, I'm not going to meet this group because I'm uncomfortable until you say something.
It's also like you're introducing your wife to your friend group. Do you know what I mean? Like your job as a spouse is to like protect her from the friend group as well, because y'all friends can be toxic. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. So then you asked, what do you do when you communicate, but then the changes are not made?
Yes, that's a big one.
I feel like that is where a lot of women are like, we're all like, everyone's in that boat. You know what I'm saying? Where like we all feel like we have tried to communicate. It hasn't worked. We've been trying. And honestly, maybe it comes from a place for men, and I guess the men can speak on this, where they just feel like we've been trying.
Right.
Where they're like, we've tried everything to understand and it doesn't work, and we will take you out. But then the next day you're still upset about something else. So I think sometimes it comes down to the point of like, maybe just women really taking some time to figure out, what is it? Is it just the fact that he didn't get you the Chanel bag? Or is it something more than that? Do you know what I mean? Is it the fact that he didn't take you out on a date, or do you need something more than that?
Right.
Figuring out what it is. Where is that happiness? And obviously, like I will always say this till the day I die, material things do not bring you happiness.
Facts.
They bring you temporary happiness. Just throwing that out there for everyone to know. Mind you, I love material things too, just like any other girl, but ultimately, like there has to be something that you're missing. If it's like, you know, like physical affection, if it's like words of affirmation, it comes down to like the love languages sometimes. And it also works both ways. So like as much as we as women want to be heard and seen, it also works for men too, where, you know, I actually talked to a guy about this. Okay. And I asked him and I said, do you need the emotional communication as much as a girl does?
Oh.
And the response was, we need it, but like it's not to the level that you guys need it, where we can also feel fulfilled in other ways. Like if we come home and we don't have this like 30-hour long conversation on a sofa, we're still okay. Like we can watch sports and we can you know, have a nice meal, and that can fill our cup for us. So like they are very different people. And I think there's a lack of understanding on both sides, where maybe the men also feel misunderstood and then the women also feel misunderstood. And then there's just this major gap in communication. So, so I think, and also just to keep in mind that like, guys, it takes time to change. Just like we are like, give me time to adjust to things. Give me time to adjust to things. I think it also takes time for them to see who you are and then work with you, because we're always constantly changing as human beings, like you said.
I also feel like Hina said this before earlier in the episode, but like men, if your wife is saying, for example, like, let's do the dinner example. Okay. Let's say you come and you surprise her one night for dinner. Again, don't do it just once.
Yeah.
Because what I think what women need, maybe this is just me, this is something that I need a little bit of like participation in the home throughout the weeks and the months.
Yeah.
So like I can't always be doing all the dishes all the time.
Yeah.
So we need to set a schedule where like, even if it is setting a schedule, which sounds so weird, but like maybe set a schedule. So like every Friday night, you guys know that she doesn't have to worry about dinner because you're going to take care of it. And you're not going to ask her about it. You'll just surprise her with it, right? Then at least the women in the back of your mind, if you know that it's in a routine and you know, okay, at least every Friday I have that peace of mind, it could help, right? I guess the whole point is women need someone to help lessen all of the things that are on our plates.
Yeah.
Just one little thing at a time. And if men can take on more responsibility, okay, and take multiple things off their plate, like women not having to worry about how many diapers you need to order, women not having to worry about we need to pay for like the soccer fees or summer camp is coming up or whatever. If men can just take a little bit of that responsibility off, it would mean a lot. It's harder for women to do so much of that for men because if they're working, you can't go into their office and be like, let me fill in your spreadsheet for you.
Yeah.
Fine, we understand we can't do that. But in other ways, we will. Like, for example, we'll get Eid covered. We will figure out plans with the in-laws. We will make sure your parents come over, or the kids see your parents. I will make sure you get like 5 hours to go do whatever you need on a weekend and I'll handle the kids. Like, women will do things
we always
to
do
give
those
men
things.
the space that they need.
Yeah.
Right? And in return, sometimes men think of it as like, oh, I have kulli chutti now.
Yeah, because sometimes the men don't even have to ask us, we just do it.
We just do
it's
it.
like even small things like, oh, by the way, like next week's your mom's birthday, don't forget to get her something.
Right?
Things like that.
Yeah,
Right?
and-
Or like I have your Eid clothes are already ironed.
Right. When women give men's time, it ends up being like, they think it's like a freedom for them or a free pass or kulli chutti, but like know that your wife is giving you that time for you to get whatever it is you need to get done, but then come back and also give that time to her.
Yeah.
Like she needs that time.
Yeah, I agree.
We need the time. I
We
don't
need
know
the
how to
time.
say it. We need the time and we need the help. Like it's so hard when a girl has to get up in the morning and do everything for the kids.
Yeah.
Drop offs, get them ready, make nashta, feed them, da da da. And like husbands can just get up and go to work.
Yeah, that's so true.
That's not fair either. Why are you throwing everything on her plate?
Yeah.
And then she drops them off and then goes to work?
Yeah, I think there's also this like mentality of like certain desi men, not all desi men, that they feel very much like I can't help out with the kids because growing up my dad didn't help out with the kids, so why should I do it? It's kind of like that whole macho mentality of like that's not my job, that's a woman's job. But I think we really have to change it. Like if you want a successful relationship, your wife is not your nokar. Like she's your wife. Y'all are on the same level. It's not that you're above her. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that's really important. And I feel like once you can kind of get to a stage where both of you are there for each other and kind of doing little things for each other, I think it only like makes your relationship stronger in my opinion. Yeah.
And like for some of those men, maybe you grew up with moms that stayed at home.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't expect that's a woman's job, but then also give her like manly, I'm doing all this in air quotes, but like manly responsibilities. Like you want her to work, but you also don't want to help out around the house.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? If we're gonna split the roles, split the roles, fam.
But then it's also like the working thing is also one thing, but we also have to keep in mind that like stay-at-home moms, and we've talked about this, they are also working. They just don't get paid. They're just not getting paid, y'all. Okay. So like in those situations, I would still say that like this also, I don't know if we've talked about this, but like stay-at-home moms, because they're not working, like what's the financial situation?
Yeah.
Like, are you giving your wife a credit card and saying, hey, do what you need to do? Or are you being the type of person that you need to ask me? Because that would piss me off.
Red flag.
That's a red flag for like a man to be like, you need to ask me, because nobody wants to ask anyone for money. You know what I mean? So I feel like if your wife is staying at home with the kids, she's not getting paid for that job. And I'm sure if you had to stay home with the kids for a week, you would be dying. So like, make sure you make her life easier in that sense. Like give her a card, let her do what she needs to do. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be so like I'm in control of everything and you know, you're under me and you're under my finger, or however it is.
And
It's
like
really
honestly, stay-at-home moms, like you take on so much emotionally. This is another thing that maybe some men don't understand is when you're taking care of the kids, you're taking on all of their emotions.
Yeah.
All of their meltdowns, all of their little things in school that are bothering them. If they're being bullied, if they lost a friend, if they didn't do well on a test, any of that pressure, like that mom is taking on all of that pressure. So if you really should figure out what's going to work in your relationship, have that open communication, but also understand that you need to help her lessen that plate.
Yeah.
Whatever's on her plate, whatever that mountain is, whatever the bottom of that iceberg is,
Yeah.
figure it out. Figure it out and help her out. And if she says, I'm tired, just know that if she's expressing that to you and it's something that she doesn't normally say, don't be like, let me know what I can do.
And the other thing, a little off topic here, but still relating. Like if you are like, hey, I think you need to go out with your friends. I feel like you need a day off, right? Go out with your friends. Let her go out with her friends. If she's coming back at whatever time, that's on her. Okay. Don't be calling her like, where are you? Why aren't you home? Don't be doing this type of stuff. Like she's a grown ass woman. She can make her own decisions. She knows when to come home. You know what I mean? You don't have to be on her and like make her feel anxious when she's already probably anxious leaving the kids at home. Let her be in her peace. Like let her have a great night. And when she comes home, her cup is going to be full. She's going to start the next day off fresh and ready to go. We don't have to like get hounded.
Yeah. And if you're quote unquote letting her go out, or you're saying you need a night out, then take full responsibility for the kids. Don't even message her asking where that bottle is.
Be messaging.
Don't ask her.
Don't be like, oh,
Figure it out.
he did a number 2. I need you to come home and change the diaper.
Figure it out. You clean that. You wipe that
You
butt.
clean that butt, okay?
You give them those baths.
Yeah,
You
you
comb
do
their
that.
hair.
You be
tuck
that
them
butt
in
cleaner.
and tuck them in again and then again and again.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we know they get out of bed.
Yeah, and if let's say your child is sick, he has a fever, don't be like, I don't know what to do. No, you do know what to do because you've seen your wife do it a million times. So like own
She
it.
never asks you.
Yeah, she never asked you, and believe me, she has just the same amount of anxiety with sick kids that you would have.
If not worse.
So like just take on the responsibility for a night. Let her have fun with her friends. And again, like we said, she will be a way happier person the next morning. Give her space, man. Give her space.
And on that note, this episode was probably not helpful to anyone. We are the problem, and all you men, you are also the problem.
Yeah,
we
fix
as a
up,
human
men.
species are all a problem.
We are all a problem.
It's all good. Let's all do some self-reflection, eh?
Everybody go into therapy today.
Hey. All right, guys. And on that note,
On that note, guys, you know what to do. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. It's linked right below. We always post a question on our Instagram. We're going to be posting a poll, pineapple on pizza poll. So make sure y'all check it out. Y'all, I know you love pineapple. Okay, the Jenna and Josh poll did not go as planned, but we're going to ignore that. Let's pretend that didn't happen.
yeah, because everybody's on my
It didn't
side.
happen. We're going to ignore. No one was on your side, you liar.
The numbers did the talking.
It was a lie. They made fake accounts to double vote. Okay, it was a lie. I see you guys. Okay, don't just side with her for the sake of siding with her.
Guys,
Come on
if
now.
you guys pick pineapple,
Don't
on
even.
pizza,
I will fight
it's
you.
cut. It's
I will
cut.
fight you till the death. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I order pineapple to your house for sure. It's happening. Okay. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media channels, Instagram, TikTok. We are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us that 5 stars, guys. It does wonders for us. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.